This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Central Texas Life. Ann Harder here with you, and it is a delight for me to welcome to the podcast studio here on the 21st floor of the Alico building, Karen Mills. And I have just been a big fan of your comedy for a while now.
Oh, thank you so much.
And when I heard you were coming to Waco, I'm just grateful that you could carve out a little bit of time before your show.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, we had a chance to do a little Facebook Live a minute ago, and it was fun, a way to kind of break the ice. But you're here for a show to benefit Community Cancer Association.
Yes.
So you're a comedian, but you have woven your own story about cancer into your comedy. Now, how does that work?
Well, you know, I look for humor in everything, whether it's something that happens at the grocery store or going through cancer. I mean, it's a coping skill, and it's also the importance of humor getting through things. You know, everybody has something, and everybody's been touched by cancer one way or the other, whether they've had it or not, right? And if it's not cancer, it's something else. But humor always applies as a way to cope with any challenges, I believe, and a way to overcome them. And because having a positive attitude and having a lightness of your spirit helps everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I had seen with it. You said a doctor initially told you, get all the negative people out of your life.
Yeah, he said, I don't care if it's your mother. He said, if anybody negative, and not talking about my mother
not
specifically,
your mother, right? Yeah.
just saying.
You've woven her into some of
yeah,
your
that's right.
Too, yeah.
But just saying that it doesn't matter who it is. If they're not lifting you up, then you need to separate from that till you can heal.
Yeah. Well, of course, I love the work of Community Cancer Association, particularly because I refer to them as the boots on the ground.
Right.
I mean, they're the ones that are helping people get to appointments. Helping to provide funds, helping to do a lot for people who are in that coping mode.
Yes, it's so wonderful, all the organizations that do that. And you know, it's so important to support those people. One time, I remember this lady walking up to me in a parking lot and saying she was trying to get gas money to go for a chemo and showing me her port. Oh. And it just broke my heart. And so these type of organizations are so important to help people that are just trying to make it and need some little extra assistance.
And there's a lot of advancements that have been made.
Yes.
Which is great, which is wonderful. But your journey began in 2013, correct?
Yes.
Just a regular appointment and...
I had one episode of where I had some severe cramping in my abdomen, and it lasted for about 30 minutes. I almost went to the emergency room, but instead I did what most people would do, and I went to WebMD. And diagnosed myself. Yeah. And so
What did you come up with?
IBS.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, but that was the only episode that I'd had, and I really didn't give it any other concern because I knew I had my regular checkup coming in about 6 weeks. And so I thought, well, you know, everybody's had cramps at one time or another, so I'm not going to worry about it since it didn't happen again. And I actually forgot to even tell the nurse practitioner when she said, if you have any concerns or, and I'm like,
anything
no.
happened?
Yeah, right. And I thought, no. And so then she was examining me and we were just joking about aging, and she got to my abdomen and the blood drained out of her face, and she said, you have a huge mass.
Really?
Yeah. She said, didn't you feel that? And I did. I mean, when people say, didn't you have any symptoms? I'm like, well, I was tired. I never felt like I could empty my bladder, but you know, and I couldn't get rid of the weight in my stomach. But everybody I know my age struggles with those same things.
Yeah,
so,
I thought that came after menopause.
Yeah, that's right. It's all symptoms that go along with menopause. And so I just wrote it off to that. And I think so many people do. And that's why it's so important to just be checked.
Exactly. And I mean, I think that's really crucial because when things are found early, the outcome can be much better.
Yes.
So you went through surgery, I take it?
I did. I went through surgery. It turns out that I had one ovary size of a cantaloupe, one the size of a grapefruit. Yeah.
And you're lying about that is.
Turns out my muffin top was a fruit salad.
Oh, yeah. Go
Yeah.
to YouTube. You'll see a lot of them.
Yeah, and you
Um,
know, but my college roommate was a nurse anesthetist who put me to sleep,
Yeah.
and which I suddenly became extremely grateful that while I was goofing off in college, she was studying. But she gave me a play-by-play of how it all went down, and said my doctor had diagrammed me from breastbone to pelvic bone in a cross, and that she had given me enough anesthesia for a 4-hour surgery because that's what he anticipated.
Yeah.
But when he made that first vertical cut, my right ovary came flying out the size of a cantaloupe, and then my left ovary popped out the size of a grapefruit.
So just snip, snip, and you were done, huh?
Yeah, so it ended up taking half the time.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. So
Oh, my goodness. Well, now you say you were goofing off in college. That is not true. So we're going to go back in history a little bit to your college career, because you are something of a legend at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, in that at a tiny 5'2",
yes,
you were a stellar basketball player and really set all kinds of records as a point guard.
I had my day.
Yeah, this is in 1981, by the way. Yeah.
No, 81.
Yeah.
1981. Yeah, I led the nation in assist,
Yeah.
and I was named All-American a couple of years, and so
And but you're the first female or male athlete at your school to
get that in Division One.
amazing.
Yeah, in Division One.
Congratulations
Yeah,
to you.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And actually I'm known in the area for my high school state tournament. Our team was back-to-back state and national champions, the Bradley Barretts in
Wow.
Cleveland, Tennessee. We were back-to-back state and national champions 2 years in a row, and had a 90-game winning streak. So, so a lot of the people in the area, they know me from UTC, but they also know me from playing at Bradley, because in 1976. My coach, Jim Smitty's in the Women's National Basketball Hall of Fame, and he's very much a role player type of coach. And he wanted me to feed the ball to Data. She was our 6'3"
Yeah.
center, and he did not want me to shoot. And so every day I just feed her the ball, and she was great and scored, and that wasn't my job.
Right.
So, but he would make me stay after school every day and make 250 shots before I could go home. And I never understood why I had to
Why?
stay when I didn't even
I never take a shot.
Yeah,
Right,
I
you
hardly
know.
ever shoot in a game. Well, fast forward to the final state championship, 1976. There's 3 seconds on the clock, and we're down by 1. And the game plan is for me to inbound the ball to Data and for her to take the shot.
Yeah.
Well, I inbounded the ball to Data. She was double teamed. She flipped the ball back to me, and I hit the shot at the buzzer to win state championship. So it was the perfect example of preparation meeting
Yeah.
opportunity. And
Yeah.
I would like to tell you that I knew my time would come, so I stayed after school every day, and I made 250 shots before I went home. But that's not true. Coach Smitty knew the time would come when Data would be double teamed, and he was going to make sure
He's
that I
gonna
was
need you.
ready.
That's right. You could make that shot. Oh, wow. What a story. That's fabulous. Of course, here in Waco, you know, we're all enthusiastic about our Lady Bears, and
Yes.
what a wonderful team. And the men's team,
And
you know,
Kim
doing
Mulkey
very well
played-
too.
Yeah, back when I played. Kim
Sure.
Yeah,
I was going
Kim
to say
did.
you
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
knew her through all that, and yeah, it's awesome. So you thought you might be a coach, but then the comedy bug bit
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you know, this is something that that I'll never have forgotten. We used to do this thing called Meet the Mocks, and that was the Booster Club would come,
Uh-huh.
and we would introduce the players or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I always wrote something in a creative way to introduce the team.
Mhm.
We did takeoffs on Saturday Night Live. We did all these different things. It
Yeah,
was
little
just a lot.
skit kind of
Yes,
things,
yeah, and it's
yeah.
just a lot of fun, and it would introduce the players.
Mhm.
Well, this one Saturday Night Live thing we did was hilarious. And when I was leaving, this gentleman, well into his 80s, stopped me and he said, "What do you plan on doing after you graduate?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to coach." And he said, "This is your gift." He said, "You really need to think about this." And I'm like, I have to have health insurance. I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't
really.
see I didn't know of a career
Yeah.
to where I could use that. I really didn't. I didn't know how to pursue that.
Uh-huh.
And so,
So in
but-
your town, not too many improv bars
right,
or
right,
things like that.
you know, and so, but I never forgot it,
Yeah.
and his wisdom of
Mhm.
seeing that was where I should go that direction.
Yeah.
Because and of course he knew my sports career, but he just could see a light in me when I did that too,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Uh-huh. Oh, no question when I see you, on stage for sure. That's true. Now pushing 3 decades of doing this, right?
Yes. Yeah, October was 30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
And you've just traveled, I'm sure, all over the country.
Yes.
The delightful Leanne Morgan.
Yes.
And I really think I just kind of became aware of either of you through Dry Bar Comics.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, we both Dry Bar, very smart. They realized there was an audience for people who like clean comedy.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Yeah, and so they started doing these specials, and I was asked to do one, and then. And I actually recommended Leanne because there were very few women, and they said, "Do you know anybody else that would be great for this?" And I said, "Leanne Morgan." And I'll tell you, in October, this is how quickly things can change. In October of 2019, Leanne called me from Zany's in Chicago, and she said, "I just don't know if I can keep doing this." She'd sold 20 tickets. Now she sells 10,000 in a weekend.
Huge.
I mean, it's
auditorium, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And she said, "I'm going to give this last ditch effort to this social media guys, and they're going to cut up some clips." She had video that we had done when we did a show together in Chattanooga. And they took that video and chopped them up into clips, and they started going viral. And I mean, she has not stopped. She just finished shooting a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. It's unbelievable. So, it's just a great metaphor for life, that
really.
you never know what tomorrow brings.
No, I mean, and during COVID, I know she was doing a lot
Yes.
of, when she'd make a trip to Costco. And I was sitting just watching what she was buying at Costco. We don't even have a Costco in Waco.
Yeah,
But-
she talked about Jell-O salad all through the pandemic, and everybody sent her recipes and latched on to that.
And it's that reality of, it's, where we are. We hear your observation of life, and put a funny turn to it. And it's just delightful.
Well,
and
thank
I had said earlier, it is scriptural. Laughter does good like a medicine.
Yes.
And I think, in a lot of ways, people have just gotten so, I don't know, they just take offense at everything.
It's true.
And they can't even laugh anymore.
I know.
At stuff.
It's true. I agree. People have just gotten so defensive about everything and so tribal and and laughter is that's one thing I love about just doing the shows and the laughter that it brings to people, because I can guarantee you in audiences of thousands of people, you have different people with different views on politics, on religion, on everything, but for those moments while we're laughing, everyone is unified.
That's right.
And I love that so much.
Yeah. That's right. And this is something, you've been doing for a number of years. Where do you call home? What is home for you?
Chattanooga.
It is Chattanooga.
Yeah,
so
it is. Yeah, I lived in Atlanta for 18 years and actually started in comedy there at the Punchline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I moved back to Chattanooga about 20 years ago to be closer to my parents.
Right. You've got family there, and that's great. Pets. I mean,
I have a fur family.
Well, so do you bring them along with you, or do you?
No, and at one time I had 4 dogs, 2 cats. Now I'm down to just 2 dogs.
Okay.
And my little Chihuahua, when I rescued her, she was pregnant. Didn't know it, but she was pregnant, and she had 3 puppies, but only 2 lived. Well, a friend of mine took both babies, and when I go out of town, they stay there, and they know that she is her mommy, and
they still do.
Oh,
That's
they
great.
do. It is the sweetest love
That is
fest.
sweet.
Every time they see her, they just lose their mind. Those babies do, and so it would be hard for me to be on the road as much as I am if I didn't know that they were
Right.
somewhere happy and have a backyard and can play and are well taken care of. So
Right,
I'm so
right,
grateful for
right.
that,
and
because they
that's
bring me
great.
so much joy.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They, they're just unconditional
It
love.
is.
And it's like you've been gone for a year when they see you, and they're, they
Yeah, it
just
doesn't matter
like,
if I've been to Waco or if I've been to the grocery store. It's the same reaction.
yeah, right. Well, I mean, you have a publicist, though. You have people that kind of help, steer your career. So how is that going? That's been a a good move, I guess.
Yes, I'm as busy. It's so crazy, and I credit Leanne for a lot of this, not just because she takes me on a lot of her dates, but because of her just bringing, women over 50.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying for years, no one speaks to that demographic. And now it's saying, even in Hollywood, they're saying the new it girls are women over 50. I mean,
Well, that's
because
good to know.
I know, and it's really, I'm busier than I've ever been, and a lot of it has to do with not just the dates I do with her, but also just being someone. Comedy is hotter than it's been in the 80s. People want to laugh. I think a lot of it's coming out of the pandemic and all that.
Yes.
And a lot of it's just the negativity that you hear all the time. So people want to go out and laugh. But who would have thought at this point in my career I would be busier than I've ever been? So I'm very blessed, and just love. The travel gets hard.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I guess you fly a lot. Where you going? You drive?
Fly, drive, whatever.
Yeah.
Horses.
Yeah.
However we need to get there, we
Buggy,
get.
whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess you've been in Texas a hot minute. So Buc-ee's, have you made the trip?
Oh yeah, we stopped at Buc-ee's. Where were we driving from? We were going from Sugar Land to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
This has just been a few weeks ago, and we stopped at Buc-ee's. But we actually have those in Tennessee now. They're everywhere.
It's really expanding. Yeah,
it is. It's unbelievable. But we did Austin and San Antonio and Sugar Land and Fort Worth and just all over Texas. We love the Texas audiences.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, we love you too.
Thank you.
This is so much fun. But I like to end these little visits. It's a sort of a questionnaire that the late great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actors Studio. Do you remember that?
Yes, I love the Actors Studio.
Well, this is kind of my take on it, and so I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? I don't know that I've ever thought about that. The first one that comes to mind is happy.
Yeah.
Because I like for people to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you bring that to folks. What is your least favorite word?
Hate.
Yeah. I've heard that from quite a few of my guests. That's true. What turns you on emotionally, creatively, or spiritually?
Nature.
Really?
Yes, I love the ocean. Mm-hmm. I love. I always say when I go to the ocean, it's like going to church. I mean, I just feel such a presence, such an energy, and I always feel more creative in nature.
Okay, what turns you off creatively, or emotionally, or spiritually?
What turns me off? Gossip, negativity.
Yeah.
People who are always looking at the dark side.
Yeah.
I just rid myself of that. I
yeah,
just don't.
Your doctor's orders.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right. Well, what's your favorite sound?
Obvious is laughter, but it really is.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's my favorite sound.
Yeah.
When people are, I can remember being out with friends years and years ago and being at something, people coming over, because we'd just be laughing and having fun, didn't matter what else was going on in the room. And people coming over and saying, I just love the laughter coming from you ladies. And we're just having,
you're just having fun.
we're just having fun. But it surprises me at how much that's absent in so many people's lives. And I just gravitate towards people who are light and have that in their spirit.
Yeah. What is your least favorite sound?
My least favorite sound. My least favorite sound. Snoring.
Okay. That's awfully hard to sleep when that's going on. That's okay. That works. What other profession would you like to have tried?
Oh gosh. Now this is a a 360. But I am always very intrigued by, always say I'd been a prosecutor, which that's very different than, because I can't stand injustice.
Right.
It makes me insane.
Yeah.
And, but I also couldn't do that job because it feels like you're always arguing. And
Yeah.
that's my least favorite sound, is arguing.
Right.
I
Okay.
do not like that. But I would have done that. You know, I had a degree in health and physical education. I wouldn't have been a good teacher. It wasn't my gift.
Yeah.
And I thought that again, it was by default. I thought I'd teach and coach.
Right.
And, but it just wasn't, it wasn't me. But I think I could have been a good lawyer if it didn't feel like I was always arguing. But I do like to stand up for the person that I feel likes being,
right.
you know, and animal abuse, I would be
That's right.
putting them away.
Yeah.
Because
Under the jail.
yes, that's right. Because if you'll do that, you're doing a whole lot of other bad stuff.
That's for sure.
So, and the other thing besides, I love CSI stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I would love to investigate. I know that sounds morbid, I guess.
No,
but
well, it's not. It's like mysteries. It's
yes,
like
I love
unraveling.
it. I love mysteries,
Yeah.
and I love trying to figure out what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what job do you know you would not want to do? No, thank you.
No, thank you to. I wouldn't be a good nurse. I have so much. Now I feel like I am a caregiver with my mom.
Uh-huh.
Not full time, but still I'm.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
I know.
But it takes somebody special, I think, to be in that all the time, and I don't think I have a great compassion, but it's a hard job.
Yeah.
You know, and when with the oncology nurses and dealing with
Yes, you've been around a lot of medical people.
that I have so much respect for that, but it's so
Yeah.
hard. And now that the other job I didn't do that I thought about seriously doing was vet, but again, for every time I lost one, it would wreck me.
Yeah.
So
It's hard.
yeah, it's hard because I can't focus on what the good I did. I see what I wasn't able to do.
Yeah, who you weren't able to help. All right. Well, one last question. When you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say?
You were a good and faithful servant.
Yeah. Well done.
Well done.
Well done. And he'd probably be laughing.
That's what I hope. That's what I hope, because sometimes people will say to me, that, you shouldn't make a joke about this or that. And I'm like,
really? I mean, I guess you probably do hear.
Oh, yeah.
You get all kinds of feedback.
You could make a joke about puppies, and they'll say, "What about kittens?" You're leaving. I mean,
Oh,
it
my.
doesn't matter. There's always something, and
Yeah.
and I'm just
You can't please
Yeah,
everybody.
no, you can't. And if you make a joke about the Wizard of Oz, they'll say, "My mom was killed by a house." So you just can't win. But but I believe that God has a great sense of humor, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it.
Amen. I do. I thoroughly believe that as well. And I think He created, this world we're in, and the laughter and the fun, and to be able to just see the humor in things. It truly is a gift, and you've certainly been using that well for a while now.
For a while, and yes, I don't think I would have been given that gift if I wasn't supposed to use it.
Right.
So
Right, and bringing so much joy to people.
Thank
It
you.
has been a delight for me. I'm so happy to get to meet you in person.
So nice meeting you too, and it has been delightful.
Yeah, well, and we've got you at one of the tallest points in Waco. We said the one tall building surrounded by Baptists. And here we are. See, I made you laugh.
Yes, you did.
But that's an old joke. Sometimes the old ones are the best.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I do hope to see you again, and we'll certainly enjoy your show. And we hope to see you again soon on Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network